Hello everyone, I am Anju Sharma from Sarvit Vidya Mandir Malerkotla. In the previous video, we will discuss about different parts of a plant like roots, stem, leaves, and today we will discuss about flower. Flowers are introduced as the reproductive part of a plant. They are not involved only the reproduction but are also a source of food for other living organisms. They are a rich source of nectar. We know like some insects or some bees collect the nectar from the flowers and then take it to their hives. So they are also act as a source of food. Then parts of a flower. A complete flower consists of two different parts. First one is the vegetative part and other one is the reproductive part. In vegetative part, the vegetative part of a flower consists of the following: first petals and then sepals. Both petals and sepals are the vegetative part of a flower. Petals. This is a bright colored part that attracts bees, insects and birds. The color of petals varies from plant to plant. Some are bright while some are pale colored. Thus, petals help us to differentiate one flower from another. Like here we can see the petals. So, petals are not same in every flower. Some are having white petals, some are having pale petals and purple and of any color. Petals differentiate from the other. And then sepals. Sepals are usually green colored. Sepal is the green colored part beneath the petals to protect rising birds. Here we can see the sepals. They are usually green in color and they will protect the petals. Then some flowers have fused petals, sepals, while few have separated petals and sepals. After the vegetative parts, there are the reproductive parts of a flower. Flowers contain the reproductive structures. In different plants, the number of petals, sepals, stamens and pistils can vary. It is not mandatory that the number of petals, sepals, stamens that is equal over there. But their numbers vary. Petals and sepals are different in every flower. The presence of these parts differentiates the flower into complete or incomplete. Flower is complete or incomplete if the flower contains all these parts like petals, sepals, stamens and pistil, then that is a complete flower. But if some part is missed from these parts, then that is the incomplete flower. So apart from these parts, a flower includes reproductive parts like the stamen and the pistil. A flower have only one female part, one male part, or both can have. So first is the stamen. Stamen, this is the male reproductive part of a flower and it is also known as androecium. It consists of two parts, mainly anther and filament. Like here we can see that is the stamen. It consists of two parts, that is the anther, that yellow part is the anther, and this one, that structure is the filament. The anther is a yellowish sac-like structure involved in producing and storing the pollens. And the filament is a slender thread-like object which functions by supporting the anther. Here we can see that is a structure like the thread and it will provide the support to the anther. Then pistil. Pistil is the female reproductive part of a flower. This is the innermost part and the female reproductive organ of a flower which comprises three parts, that is the stigma, style and ovary. This collectively is known as pistil. So stigma, it is the topmost part or receptive tip of carpels in the gynoecium of a flower. So here we can see that is the topmost part of the ovary. This is the stigma. Then style. It is the long tube-like slender stalk that connects the stigma and the ovary. Here that is the style that connects the stigma and the ovary. Then ovary. It is a ductless reproductive gland that holds a lot of ovules. It is the part of the plant where seed formation takes place. This swollen part is the ovary. Here we can see the bead-like structure, this one. These are the ovules. Here the seed formation takes place. These are the parts of a flower. So thank you.